You've been told meat is survival food, but what if eating the wrong kind of meat could actually kill you? Our ancestors knew something we've forgotten. Lean meat alone isn't enough to survive. This shocking truth explains why humans became fat hunters, not just carnivores. Hi everyone, my name is Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach, and this is part of my question and answer series: Why lean meat can kill you, the forgotten truth about fat hunting humans. Alright, let's get to the question. You mentioned that humans have a protein ceiling and can't survive on protein alone due to nitrogen toxicity. This is fascinating because it suggests our ancestors weren't just hunting any meat, but specifically targeting fat rich prey. Can you walk me through exactly what happens physiologically when humans attempt to survive on lean meat alone and how this shaped our hunting behavior? Yeah, of course I can. This one of the this is one of the most revealing aspects of human evolutionary physiology and strongly supports the idea that we are fat adapted, facultative carnivores rather than simple meat eaters. Okay, so let's get into this. What is the protein ceiling and why it matters? Humans have a biological limit to how much protein we can metabolize safely. This is known as the protein ceiling. It's typically around 35 to 40% of daily caloric intake. Beyond that, the body begins to experience protein toxicity, also known as rabbit starvation or protein poisoning. Rabbit starvation came from the Inuit when they saw Westerners who refused to eat the fatty seal meat that they were eating, seal and whale meat that they were eating, and tried to eat just the Arctic hares that were around. And in wintertime, especially the Arctic hares were very lean. And these guys would literally die from just eating the lean meat, not having any fat. Okay, so what happens physiologically when we exceed the protein ceiling? Deaminated overload. Dietary protein is broken down into amino acids. These amino acids must be deaminated, the nitrogen group removed and converted into ammonia, then to urea via the liver. Urea is extracted by the kidneys and urine. The bottleneck is the urea cycle capacity. The liver and kidneys have limited capacity to process nitrogen. When protein intake exceeds this capacity, ammonia and other nitrogenous compounds build up in the bloodstream, a condition called hyperammonia. Okay, symptoms of protein poisoning: nausea, diarrhea, fatigue, headache, irritability, liver stress, and neurological dysfunction. In extreme cases, death. There is no escape from this. Unlike carbs or fat, protein can't be stored as is. Excess must be immediately processed or it becomes toxic. Without fat or carbs to dilute the protein load, the metabolic system quickly destabilizes. So, what does this mean in terms of our ancestral hunting behavior? Given this protein ceiling, humans could not thrive on lean meat alone, especially not in cold, carbohydrate scarce environments. So what did this mean? Fat became the primary energy target. Early humans had to seek out animals with high fat stores like mammoth, bisons, aurochs, and seals. If prey was too lean, for example during the dry season or famine times, organs, marrow, and brain tissue were especially prized for their fat content. Strategic butchering. Archaeological sites show selective transport of fatty parts, limb, bones, heads, viscera, back to the base camps. Bones were boiled for grease, a labor-intensive but fat-rich process. There is little evidence of whole carcass use in some cases, which suggests a preference, not desperation. Okay? And by the way, the same thing occurs when you deal with carnivores, like lions and tigers. When they take down a kill, they eat the fatty parts of the animal first, and they leave the lean for the scavengers. Okay? Fallback foods, plants and insects. In times when fat-rich prey was scarce, humans likely turned to fallback foods, roots, tubers, nuts, and even insects. But these were never the evolutionary preferred energy source. Okay? And like my little video here shows, you don't see pictures of salads on cave painting walls. Alright? Just remember that. Okay, evolutionary feedback loop. This fat seeking behavior shaped our physiology and cognition. Big brains require a stable, high energy fuel, fat, especially ketones and cholesterol. Fat rich diets promote neural growth, especially during glacial cycles when plants were unavailable. And our digestive tract became less adapted to fiber fermentation. We have a small colon, low cellulose activity, and more efficient at digesting animal fats and proteins. Okay? So, in summary, the protein ceiling drove human specialization as fat hunters, right? We had a number of constraints. The protein ceiling, right? Around 35 to 40% of calories. So this necessitates a high fat intake. Excess protein equals toxicity. Favored animals with fat reserves. Cold climates lacked carbs, where we know about the Ice Age was a major component in human adaptation. Pushed metabolic adaptation to fat. High fat supports large brains, and we want that. Reinforced selection for fat-seeking behavior. And humans weren't just hunters. We were fat hunters, seeking not just meat, but the energy-dense fat that made survival and brain expansion possible. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something there. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the appropriate section. If you have any ideas that you'd like me to expand upon, go ahead and leave them there as well. This is a community. I'm here to help you guys learn what you want, everyone. And let me know what you're looking for, okay? And if you haven't done so, please like, share, and subscribe to this. You might be helping somebody by sharing it with them. All right? Thank you very much.